We're out on the little boat today, talking about how fishing in September is giving you fits and how to fix it. Stick around. Welcome back to Lowbrow Fishing. And today, instead of being on the bass buggy, I figured we'll do a little bit of on the water, on the little boat, on the little lake. And today we're talking about September fishing. And everyone's going to tell you that's the time that the fish are going to start to transition. That's when they transition from their summer homes out deep in those big schools, and those schools start to bust up and they transition out more towards shallow or different deeper water, wherever it is that they go on your home body of water during the fall. So we go from a time when the fishing gets really hard and can be really frustrating to when it becomes a lot easier, as those fish are chasing bait balls in schools trying to really fatten up for that winter time. And even now, those fish can be located and they can be caught if you know where to look. And finding them is pretty easy if you know what to look for. First of all, you're going to need a couple of things, like, as I said before, Google Earth, and also an app called Navionics. Navionics is great because it will show you the underwater structure. You'll see depth, you'll see creek features, you'll see things that you cannot normally see on Google Earth. And those are really, really helpful. See, right now, as those schools are busting up, those fish are going to be following the same paths that they have for generations. They're going to be following those same creek arms, those same hard edges, those same grass seams, and they're going to be setting up along points along that route as they go from their summer home to their fall home and when they start feeding on those bait balls. And even now, you can find that they're starting to push up on those bait balls, and a lot of them have already started feeding and feeding well. So what do? Well, we take an app like Navionics and we can look at the features of our local lake. And it's free to do so. It doesn't cost you anything. There is a premium service, but just to see basic structure and basic things for your lake doesn't really cost anything. Hopefully somebody's done the work and you can see it. Usually for most lakes, that's not a problem. It's already there. But you'll be able to see this is where the fish are going to be going. Even points along the bank where they'll be coming along channel swings or against hard edges or breakwalls. Bass use these too as highways going from point A to point B. Just like when you get up for work in the morning and you head off, you take the same route unless there's construction or an accident. Bass do the same exact thing. They're going to follow the same routes year in and year out to get from one home to the other as the year goes on, as the seasons change. And we can plot that course and it's going to be predictable. This is going to be something that we can predict, and at any point during the year, you'll be able to say, okay, the bass are going to be here. This is what I know to look for. All right, we've got our wacky rig tied on, and we're going to go ahead and I guess we're going to go backwards a little bit. Go backwards a little bit. Little beaver dam right there. I wonder if there's anything in front of the beaver dam. Let's go ahead and give it a try. And I can see it sinking from here. Kind of hop it up just a little bit. It's got great action on it. Let me put my stuff away. It's got really great action on it. Oops, there we go, I'm on. Wow, look at that. And look at that. On that wacky rig worm. Wow, that was the very first cast. Hot dog. Look at that. He went right for it. You know, I mean, that's got to tell you something. And of course, the worm knocked out of the way. And I mean, he's a little bitty dude. He's just a quarter pounder. But this is a largemouth. See how high that dorsal fin goes up? Oh yeah, that's definitely a largemouth. You can see how far back behind his eye. Oh, never mind. It's a spot. That's a hybrid. His tongue is really rough, and his mouth does not go back behind his eye too far. See how that is? How his eyeball and his jawline of his mouth are even? That's a spot, but his his dorsal fin going really high, and that coloration's a largemouth, so he's a hybrid. Anyway, thanks for playing, little buddy. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. So then, I guess it comes down to bait selection. And a lot of guys will tell you that the topwater bite is really starting to heat up. And, you know, I've had that a little bit, but for the most part, my jig bite has really taken off. As in the lake that I fish right here, this little lake, there's so much structure, there's so much timber that I've just been able to catch them and catch some pretty good ones on jigs. Everybody's doing their, what baits do you want to throw during September? What's going to be working for me? And I'm not saying that they're not right. However, we have to take that information a lot of times with a grain of salt. You have to be able to apply it to your fishery, to your body of water. And the way you do that is knowledge and bass behavior. You learn the knowledge of the fishery that you're on, you understand where the bass are going to be going, and you understand how they're going to be reacting. Then you take the information that other guys are giving you about what baits they're throwing, what colors they're throwing, and you apply that to your fishery. And I guarantee you, your success rate is going to go through the roof. You have to learn how to apply those two things, because unless these guys are fishing your lake like Chickamauga, Pickwick, or Table Rock, then it's going to apply to your fishery, and every fishery is independent. Every personality of every lake is completely different, and you're going to have to learn to apply these principles and techniques to your fishery. All right, switch back to the old Texas Marigama. Actually, we're going to go switch to the old Jigamarigger. Since my boat don't want to face the right way, we'll have to, there we go. We'll see if we can't get anybody. Let's see if I can, I'm gonna have to turn my boat around. This is awkward. There we are. Oh yeah, that's good. Come on, stay down. That's a good one. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Oops, slippery. Come here, you. Let's see. Ooh, I barely had you. Let's get that brush cart out of the way. All right, so. But that's a nice little fish. We're going to get a picture with him. All right, there it is. Beautiful little fish. Thank you. And we pulled him off of that. We pulled him off of that little brush pile, just like we always do. Remember, when it comes to fishing, all you got to do is follow the current, follow the food. Those bait fish, your shiners, your shad, are for the most part going to be following the phytoplankton. And the somewhat larger fish, such as sunfish, bluegill, or even crappie, will be following those smaller fish that are following the phytoplankton. And the bigger fish, your bass, are going to be following them. So it's a chain. We can see how the chain reacts. But it's all predictable. It all happens in a certain way, in a certain pattern. Every lake, every body of water has its own distinct personality, and it takes years to be able to figure it out and know it like you would your best friend or your wife or whatever. But that sort of information is crucial. That's why we talk about breaking down a lake. And in the fall time, more than any other time of the year, is crucial when it comes to breaking down a body of water, because those fish are on the move. They are going from their summer homes out deep, those schools are breaking up, and they're following their tried and true ways, the paths that they have for generations, out to where they're going to spend the fall. And they're going to be feeding up and stopping at spots along the way. Stumps, rock piles, humps, saddles. They will be stopping there for a while and then moving on. And this is predictable on every body of water. We just need to figure out what that pattern is. And that's what we talk about when we say breaking down a lake, breaking down a body of water. And once you be able to do that, then locating fish, even in September and October and November, becomes a heck of a lot easier, and you find that you're getting skunked fewer days and putting more and more bass in the boat. So there you have it. Finding fish in September is not really all that complicated. You don't need some sort of fancy electronics or a crystal ball. All you need is a little bit of information. Try Google Earth, try Navionics, study your lake, find the paths that those fish are following because they're always following those paths. I guarantee you, as you find those paths and you locate where those fish are setting up as those fish transition from summer to fall, your catch rate will go way through the roof. Everybody's telling you what baits to throw right now, but if the fish aren't there to bite it, it's not going to do you any good, is it? So, step number one, as always, cover water, find the fish. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.